Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of College Hockey Talk. On today's podcast, I am joined here today with sophomore of the Alabama Huntsville hockey team, Peyton Francis. Peyton, welcome to the podcast, and how's everything going?
Hey, thank you for having me on. Everything's good with me. The season's just getting started here. We just had our first weekend of non-exhibition games, so it's really exciting. It's a great time to be in Huntsville right now.
Well, that's good to hear. And my first question was, what have you overall taken away from this unusual college hockey season with the COVID pandemic going around and just the schedule always being changed throughout the year?
Yeah, well, it's definitely been a mess with everything going on and games getting pushed back, games getting canceled. Like just issues with guys testing positive and stuff, and even just having to do testing every day is now a new part of our routine. So definitely, I'd say the biggest changes is just the new routine, being able to adapt to um, testing times and being able to adapt to maybe games getting pushed back and games getting canceled. It's a pretty weird year, but I feel like everybody just has to learn to deal with a little bit of adversity here, and we just kind of have to work around the new schedule that we have.
Yeah, and you just had a series against Michigan Tech, and even though you guys lost both of those games, what positives did you take away from that series that helped you for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I feel we had a really good game, especially the second game that we played them. We played a lot more of our game. We played a lot better, a lot of team game, and we have a lot of young guys. So we had a big freshman class last year. We have an even bigger one this year. So we definitely have a young team and a lot of guys with a lot to prove. So it was good that first weekend to just get in some good games and have guys, be able to play at the college level and be able to adapt. And it's good to see how well the team's working together already and how well we're competing against, one of the top teams in our division. So it's good to see how well we were able to do for our first weekend.
Yeah, and what's it been like to play this year without any fans? I know some stadiums in the WCHA, like Alabama, will have 30% capacity, but that's still not that many fans. Has that been an adjustment for yourself playing with the lack of fans, and how do you try to make up for that on the ice?
I mean, I feel like the weirdest part of it is during warm-ups when you're kind of just getting warm for the game and doing your routine and stick handling and shooting, and nobody's there. There's no student section egging you on and anything like that. So that's been a bit different. But during the game, I feel you don't notice it as much until big plays happen, and then there's nobody there. So it's been weird. We're definitely missing fans. It's going to be nice to have at least 30% at home here this upcoming weekend. So we're looking forward to that a lot. But yeah, it's definitely been weird not having fans. It's not the same atmosphere. So you just got to make sure that you're ready to go and that everybody's buzzing before we even step out there.
Yeah, and 3-on-3 overtime has also been introduced to college hockey this year. What is that? I know you haven't played in one yet, but what's that going to be like for yourself as an offensive player, getting more space on the ice and more offensive chances to score goals?
I mean, yeah, I'm very excited about it. Personally, I'm as you said, an offensive player. Speed's a big part of my game, so it's gonna be fun to play those 3-on-3 opportunities. I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a nail biter only having three guys. So if you make a mistake out there, it can be costly. But also, if you make a good play, then you can be the difference maker. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm excited to see what a 3-on-3 overtime is going to be like here, and I think we have a lot of fast guys up front. We have a lot of good guys that I think will be built really well for the 3-on-3 style.
Yeah, and you've also had to adjust to many schedule changes throughout the season. I know we were talking about that earlier, but how do you mentally try to stay prepared for all those changes that are going to happen in your schedule, and how do you try to overcome some of the challenges that come along with that?
Yeah, well, even in our first when we were playing exhibition games before the break there, we were supposed to play Fair State, and we ended up having a guy get a false positive. So since he was getting like retested, the game got pushed back, and then it got pushed back, and then it got canceled. Um, So, just sitting in the hotel there, it's a little bit weird just kind of to be sitting there waiting to hear what's going to happen next. But you just gotta be able to adapt, as I said before. I mean, everybody's has to go through the same thing, and it's a weird year for everybody. So you just got to be able to adapt and to stay up when you're sitting in the hotel room or sitting at home, or for some guys in their dorm rooms. So you just got to be able to adapt and always stay up and make sure you're ready to go no matter if the game's going to be pushed back or rescheduled or whatever happens.
Yeah, and how's your freshman class look like so far in your eyes, and how have they adapted to the new team, especially since the freshman class will be a key part of the Huntsville hockey team moving forward, and since that you also mentioned that it's one of the biggest classes you've had in this program before?
Yeah, they're doing really well. I mean, a great thing that I love about this team that we have this year is we have a lot of guys here with a point to prove. Obviously, over the summer we had our program got shut down and then reopened with all the support from alumni and fans and everything, and that was amazing. But we also lost a couple guys and we had to bring some new guys in. So I mean, everybody here has that feeling that they've been looked over, or that whatever the scenario is. So everybody's playing with a chip on their shoulder, and I think that the freshmen came in with a lot of high pace, a lot of high capacity. Like, everybody's been buzzing workouts and on practice. So it's great to see. Honestly, I think they're doing a really good job, and they seem to be adapting to the college game pretty quickly and pretty well. So it's exactly what we need, and we're just hoping to keep going forward at the same pace and just taking it up from here.
Yeah, and what type of leadership do you want to bring on the ice? Are you more of a vocal leader or lead by example type of player?
I feel personally I'm a little bit of both. I would say maybe lead by example. I like to joke around. I like to talk. I'll sing to the music during games when it's going on. So I kind of like to be loose, but I'm definitely try to lead by example by just working hard and competing every practice, every workout, every game, so that obviously, since we have such a huge freshman class, even me as a sophomore, being one of the younger guys, is still need to lead the way in a good manner, and still need to be able to push the guys coming in after us to keep up with the same pace and the same identity that we have.
Yeah, what has been the biggest improvement you've made to your game so far this year?
I think the biggest improvement personally that I've made to my game is just using my tools more. Honestly, I think last season, I was kind of more adapting to the college game, and just I had a little bit of a culture shock coming into college. It's fast paced. Guys are on you. Everybody's obviously like the best out of best coming out of junior leagues into the college game. So it's just a little bit of adapting and being able to see where I can make plays happen, and where I can utilize the tools that I have. So I think that's the biggest step that I've taken this year personally, is just to be able to play my game and be more comfortable on the ice and in different scenarios and things like that.
Yeah, and how was your off season this year? Because I know talking to other college hockey players, it was hard to find ice time and gyms were closed as well. And especially since your program was shut down for a little bit, but luckily it came back. How did you manage this off season? What did you do to prepare for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, this was a crazy off season with the pandemic and with our program closing down and reopening. Just a lot of different things going on. I'm from Canada, just outside Toronto, from a town called Oakville, and all the gyms and ice rinks and everything around me were shut down for the majority of the summer. So me and my childhood best friend built a little gym in my garage. So we actually went out to Canadian Tire and Home Depot, got some wood, and threw together a squat rack and just made it work. So I had a program from our trainer here at UAH, and he sent us that over the summer. So we had body weight workouts and workouts for guys that could get in a gym. So luckily enough, I was able to actually have that home gym in my garage, and to be able to have a friend. He's playing college lacrosse over at RIT right now. So it was good to be able to, have another athlete that wants to put in work every day. So we were working out um, basically every day of the week, but it's definitely weird not being able to get on the ice. Threw the rollerblades on a little bit. It was just like stick handling as much as I could, and then I was able to get onto some ice later in the summer before coming. But it was a weird off season. A lot of garage gym workouts, and like some hill climbs and stuff outside. But definitely had to get creative and find some different things to be able to do so that we would still be able to work out and skate with everything closed and shut down.
Now, where were you when they announced the program was going to get shut down, and how did you deal with all the process? What was the process like for getting the program back up? Because I know a ton of people donated money to a GoFundMe to help it come back up, especially voices like Patrick Kane who helped start that. How did you deal with that? And when did you find out the program was coming back?
Well, that was a whole whirlwind of emotion for me, for all the guys returning here. We found out in the summer. I was at home. We had a team call. We all talked about what was happening, and then um, I think it was just a couple days after that they started the GoFundMe and trying to revamp everything and get the program back running. So it was a weird couple weeks. There was like a 3-4 week period there of just not knowing if the program was coming back, not knowing if we needed to find other places to play. So I just tried to stay positive throughout that time, keep working out, keep eating right, staying in the right mindset so that no matter what happened, I was ready to go for the upcoming season. And fortunately enough, we had so many people behind us and so many people that helped with our program that it was able to come back. And I mean, we're all ecstatic that that's happened. I mean, me, myself, I'm so excited to be able to get the opportunity to continue playing here. I love it here at UAH. So it was a whirlwind of a couple weeks, but at the end, it was just nice to know that we still had a place to call home.
Yeah, I want to talk about the beginning of your hockey career. You're from Oakville, Ontario, like you just mentioned. How did you start playing hockey and falling in love with the sport?
So originally, my dad played college basketball and he played football in high school. He won a national championship in Canada for college basketball. So that's definitely the route that he wanted me to take. But I used to have a nanny, and when she first came to Canada, she got really into hockey. She was watching the Leafs games, and I used to just fall asleep in the living room. Like I would be lying on her stomach watching the Leafs games and watching hockey games and just seeing those guys out there. And I was like, I knew immediately that's what I wanted to do. So I talked my parents into it. Um, I got out there. The first time I was on the ice, I think I just fell right on my butt, started crying. I was pretty young. I wanted to get off. I was done with it. And my dad was like, not a chance. You made all this fuss that you wanted to play. So you better get back up and get out there. And so, yeah, that's how I found myself in the game of hockey. And I've just loved it since I started playing, and I still love it to this day.
Yeah, and who was your favorite player growing up? And do you try to model your game after their game?
Well, my favorite player growing up actually was Jerome McGinley. Um, it was cool. It was cool to see a guy that looked like me being the captain of a NHL team. I found that was amazing, and it was something awesome to look up to. Um, where modeling my game after him, I'm a bit of a smaller frame, more speed and skill type game than he was. Power forward. So I tried to take some parts of his game, but I don't think I had the frame for all of it. But yeah, he was definitely my favorite player growing up. And then uh, Taves also became one of my favorite players, and I tried to model my game more after him when I was growing up.
Yeah, I love Jerome again. Like, he was played for the Bruins for 1 year, and he was awesome. One of my favorite players to watch for sure. Now, before Huntsville, you played in the CCHL for the Carleton Place Canadians. How did you get the opportunity to play there?
Yeah, so just coming out of minor hockey, I was trying out for different junior teams, wanted to play near home. Um, so I went to a couple teams. I got an email from the coach of the Carleton Place Canadians, Jason Clark, and he invited me out to the camp. So it's about 5 hours from where I live. It's more near the Ottawa area, Carleton Place. And I went out there. I had a blast. I had a good camp, and um, Clarkey offered me the opportunity to play junior B out there for the Ottawa West Golden Knights and be able to practice with the junior A team and come up and play some games. So it just seemed like an amazing opportunity, and it worked out. So I'm glad that I took the chance and went out there.
Yeah, and how did your experience with the CCHL help prepare you for college hockey?
It definitely helped round out my game. I think coming out of minor hockey is very offensive minded, run and gun, just trying to use my speed and stuff to create as many opportunities as I could on the offensive end, which I still try and incorporate into my game now. But I definitely lacked the other half of the game, and I think in juniors is really Jason was on me all the time in practices and everything to make sure that I was playing a full, consistent 200-foot game. And I think that's really where juniors kind of helped me make the jump to college hockey, is where I was able to play more of a full game, play on the defensive and offensive side of the puck. And then also we were doing workouts and practices every day of the week, which is exactly what we're doing in college. So it definitely helped me prepare for the work ethic needed in college as well.
Yeah, and talk about the recruiting process and why did you choose to go to Huntsville?
Yeah, so when I was playing junior B, actually, so I was playing for the Ottawa West Golden Knights. That was my first season in juniors, and I was having a pretty good season. I was able to play up. You play for the junior A team for a weekend, and UAH came down to watch some players on Carleton Place, Connor Merkley and Andrew Dodson, and so Merks is still here now. But then, yeah, when they came to watch him, I happened to be playing that weekend, and they liked what they saw. So they gave me an offer, and yeah, I looked at the campus, I looked at the school, and I mean I made my decision pretty quickly. It was my first year of juniors, and made my decision, committed to UAH, and stuck with it. And I'm glad that I did. And then rode that out through my junior years and could really focus on just trying to grow my game more than the recruiting process itself.
Yeah, and was there any adversity you faced getting noticed by schools in the CCHL? Because I only know one other player. He plays for UMass. He's Jake Gaudette. He went to the CCHL, but I don't really know. I don't really see many players from that league go on to play college hockey. So, was there like any adversity you had to face being from that league?
Well, I mean, it's a good league. I mean, we on Carleton Place, at least, we had I think when I committed, I think we had 10 commitments that year. But they always have like 10 or more commitments. The goalie from Carleton Place last year is the starter on the World Junior Team Canada right now. Io Adenier also came from Carleton Place. Connor Merkley came from Carleton Place. They're both on my team now. So I think Carleton Place itself is just a great organization, and the CCHL is a good league with some talent. So I didn't really face much adversity. I don't think on that end. I think that we had a good program that is great at getting commitments and great at moving guys to the next level. So I was definitely happy where I ended up, and I obviously am playing college hockey now. So Carleton Place did their job, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see Devon Levi play for Canada in the gold medal game tonight. Should be fun. Now, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make to college hockey? Was it more the mental side of the game, making quicker decisions with a puck, or was it more the physicality, playing against players that are 5 years older than you were at the time?
Yeah, I would say It's a little bit of both, actually. I mean, the mental side, just being able to make decisions with the puck and being able to make plays at such a high pace, and guys are on you a couple seconds faster than they would be when you're playing juniors. So that's definitely a bit of a hop that you need to be able to make decisions faster and be able to move pucks faster and just do things at a higher pace while still making good decisions. But then, yeah, on the physicality side, coming in and being able to play against guys that are men versus the teenagers that you're playing in juniors, it's definitely a step that you need to take, playing against older guys, stronger guys that are in the gym every day. The little bumps and scrums in the corners, things that might not take as much of a toll on you, or it might be a little bit easier in juniors. You're battling against grown men and you're battling against other big guys. So I definitely think that's awesome, like for players coming in and for younger guys coming in, because you got to be able to make that jump and play against older, stronger, bigger guys.
Yeah, what's it like to play under Coach Lance Weston? How has he helped your hockey development for your 2 years with Huntsville?
It's been great. I mean, Wesley's been awesome. He's pushing us every day, and I think just the format and the planning that the coaches have planned out for us this season, them being on top of us and all the systems and practices that we're running. I mean, it's been an amazing experience for me so far. I've loved it, and like Wesley's making sure that we're ready to go and that everybody knows the positions that they need to be in, and making sure that everybody knows their job and everybody knows what they need to be doing when they need to be doing it. So it's been an awesome experience so far.
Yeah, and talk about the hockey scene in Alabama because I'm curious, what is hockey like down south? Because I'm from up north and it seems like it's a whole different kind of animal down there when it comes to hockey.
Yeah, so I mean, being from up north myself, it's kind of just hockey is something that you have growing up. It's being from Canada, everybody plays hockey. Friends play hockey. People in your school you're playing against, guys that you go to school with or on other teams around you, and everybody is playing the game or watching the game or knows the game. So it's definitely a little bit different. Obviously, in the South, you need ice is the first thing you need. In Canada, we can skate on the ponds and stuff all winter, but it's different down here. So it's exciting to be able to have the opportunity to grow the game in the South, and just to be able to grow the game of hockey in general is always awesome for the sport, and it's awesome for us to be a part of it, and really to just be able to grow the game in the South. It's been a great experience. We have a lot of support. The people around here love coming to the games. They love going to the Havoc games as well, and they're really getting into hockey. So hopefully we can continue growing the game, and it just gets bigger and bigger in the South. But it's been awesome so far.
That's great. Now we're going to transition into the what I like to call the non-hockey segment of the podcast. My first question is, who is the funniest on the team?
The funniest on the team. I would have to say Connor Merkley. Honestly, he's a personality. He can always get everybody laughing. Lighten the mood when things are pretty serious. He's a pretty funny guy. We do have a lot of good personalities on our team, but I would definitely say he's got the comedic personality out of all the boys.
Now, who has the best style on the team besides yourself?
Okay, I'm glad you said besides myself, because I definitely would have given myself the win. But the best style. Oh, that's a tough one. Um, I don't know. We do have a pretty stylish group of guys, but I mean Connor Witherspoon's definitely got the new school style. He would definitely be the TikTok star out of all of us. So yeah, I'll have to give it to him.
Nice. Now, what is your go-to meal before a game?
I like to keep it simple. Penne pasta, some Alfredo sauce, chicken, a lot of parm. I'm a big Parmesan cheese guy, so I dump a whole load of that on there. but yeah, just a light meal, get some carbs, get some protein, nothing too heavy before a game. So that's usually what I go to.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love a good chicken parm. That doesn't get any better than that.
Oh yeah.
Now, what music do you like to listen to? Just in general, I guess.
I'm kind of all over the map. I mean, I listen to every genre as long as it's good music, but I would say mostly a hip hop guy. Um, me and my dad on the way to games, he used to play me a whole lot of old school hip hop, Run DMC, some DMX, some old guys like that. So I would definitely say hip hop is my go-to, but I'm all across the map when it comes to music.
Do you have like a go-to artist before a game or like a playlist you have before a game?
Before the games, I keep it calm in the bus or on the car on the way over there. Just kind of listen to whatever's going on, some easy rock maybe, and then when I get to the rink, I just try and get as pumped up as possible. So I would have to say my go-to artist at the moment would be Pop Smoke. He definitely gets me fired up, but yeah, just it's a lot of hip hop, mostly things to just kind of get the blood flowing and get me a little juiced mentally as well.
Yeah, no, I'm a big hip hop fan. I'm really into Lil Uzi Vert right now. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff lately, especially with the new Playboy Cardi album that came out like a few weeks ago. So that's what I've been going with lately.
Yeah, I've been listening to some of that too. I like it a lot.
Now, my last non-hockey question for you is if you could have lunch with anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of people that I would have that lunch with, but I feel like now, especially just because it's in my head, I would have to say Jerome McGinley. I mean, I think it would just be awesome to talk the game with him and also not the game, like just his life experiences and everything going on. I think he would be a great guy to kind of have a mentorship lunch with, where I could just ask him questions, about things that I haven't experienced yet and things that I have experienced, and just see his take on the game and see his take on life. I think that would be a great guy to sit down with.
Yeah, and back to some hockey questions now. What advice would you give a younger player trying to make D1 college hockey?
The advice that I would have to give is just keep working. I mean, um, to be able to compete and to play at this level, you have to be willing to work and put the work in every single day. So that'd be the biggest thing that I could say to young guys. I mean, everybody wants to work on skills and work on all that stuff, but at the end of the day, as long as you make sure that you're not getting outworked by the guy standing next to you, then I think your future is in your own hands. So that would be my advice to the younger guys. I would say definitely just work as hard as you can, every possible opportunity you can, and just put yourself in the best light, because you never know who's watching you and you never know who's around. And even if nobody's around, you got to be competing against yourself.
Yeah, what's the key for balancing academics and hockey? And has school been all online for you, or has it been like kind of a mixture of in person and online?
So I've had mostly online. We have some hybrid classes too. Those have been kind of weird, just going in with only like 8 people in the class. Everybody's in masks, 6 feet apart, and you're sitting kind of on an island. So that's been a little bit weird, but yeah, the balance between hockey and school is a big one. You got to make sure that you're staying on top of everything, make sure that you're checking in with your classes and everything every day, because it's easy to get focused on hockey and your practices and games and workouts, and forget about that stuff. But it's not something that you can do. I mean, we're student athletes, and you have to be just as good on the academic side as you do on ice and in the gym. So you just have to make sure that you leave yourself time for everything, and really I would say scheduling, um, and just making sure that you have time for all your different tasks throughout the day is definitely the biggest part of it.
Now, what are your goals and expectations for your team and for yourself for the rest of the year?
I think just to keep getting better, we're on the right path so far. And I just think that we have a lot of potential, and we have a young core, as I said before, which is very exciting for the next couple years coming up. So just keep getting better every day in practice and in the gym, keep pushing each other, keep being able to make those small steps. So far, I think, we've gotten a little bit better every weekend that we've played. And I think we consistently need to be like that throughout the whole season, and the season will go well. So I would put more of the goals on just making sure that we're on top of each other and pushing each other, and making sure that everybody's working the hardest that they can every day. It's just making sure that we're doing well and taking those steps. And then on a personal factor, it's more of the similar stuff. I just think that I need to be able to keep pushing and keep working, and make small steps so that my game gets better, and that I'm able to help produce and help get us wins, and help to be able to push the team forward as much as I can.
Now, I was doing research on yourself. I was watching an interview where you talked about the inclusivity of hockey. And my question to you is, what do you think should be done on the youth level to make hockey more a sport for everyone?
Yeah, so I think my two biggest points on this is just one is definitely funding. I mean, hockey's an expensive sport. Um, it's I guess your typical rich white sport that it is, but to be able to get funding and to programs that help minorities get into the game, and really help hockey reach everybody. I mean, it just makes the game better when you have as much people as possible trying to be the best. Obviously, it's just going to get that skill level, and make hockey itself a better game overall. So I think that's definitely a huge factor that needs to be helped out with. And then the other thing is just role models. I mean, growing up, obviously, I said earlier, Ginla was my favorite player. It was awesome to be able to have a guy that I saw that looked like me, that I could, look at and be like, okay, that's someone that I want to be like. And I'm hoping that I'm setting the same example for younger guys, where they see, me, and they see Io playing college hockey, and they know that that's a possible dream to have. And if you want to play pro, if you want to play college, if you want to be able to make it to those levels, like, guys can do that. And just to be able to see guys ahead of you doing that is awesome. And it really just kind of helps boost your motivation and your self-confidence. So I think that's definitely the other piece of the game, where you just want to see more minorities in positions where it's guys on the team and guys in the staff, and owners and things like that. So that's definitely another thing that when that grows, it just grows the game. So
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that. Now, my last question to you is, what should I do better as an interviewer to make this podcast better?
I don't know. I mean, it was a pretty good podcast. I really enjoyed being on here. I enjoyed my time. You had some good questions, hockey and non-hockey. So I would just say keep up the good work. Honestly, I think you're doing a really great job, and I had a lot of fun being on here. And I'm looking forward to it. If you ever want to chat again, let me know.
Definitely, I'd love to have you back on. And thank you for the kind words. Now, is there any shout outs you'd like to give to any of your family members, teammates before we let you go?
Just shout out UAH hockey, Alabama growing the game of hockey in the South. Say hi to my family and my parents and friends and everybody at home that has to watch, through a screen this year instead of being able to come down to the games. I mean, I'm still very thankful for all the support, whether it's face to face or whether it can't be because of this year. So shout out to everybody there, and just hoping that the team just keeps on this pace and keeps doing well this year, and we just get better and better.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Peyton. I really appreciate it. Good luck for the rest of the year, and take care and stay safe.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me again. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too.